anything to change your mind?
Well, we had a good conversation. My message, of course, to the Prime Minister is that people can't afford to pay anymore, that they're tapped out, their grocery bills, the rent is too high after 10 years of excess spending. So I shared my view that we need the government to bring down its inflationary deficits and taxes. I was grateful for the chance to sit down with the Prime Minister. We had a good conversation. He didn't make any commitments, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what he comes up with.
You said you hoped he was in listening mode. Did you feel that was the case?
I think we both were. We had a good back and forth, and we shared our respective views. I'm not going to report to you anything that he said because that was in the four walls of the room. I can only speak for myself, and I reiterated that we need this to be an affordable budget. We've seen over the last 10 years of Liberal deficit spending is driven up the cost of living and driven down investment in our country. So my message is it's time to reverse course on the costly decade of deficit spending that has given us more expensive food and housing. The Canadian people deserve a break. The cost of government is driving up the cost of living, and so if the Prime Minister is serious about making Canada a more affordable country, then he needs to bring forward an affordable budget.
Do you get the sense
Over
this is a budget
over
that you can
history.
support?
Sorry, go ahead.
We can take both.
Okay, you go first.
Do you get the sense that this is a budget you could support?
I haven't seen anything, so, but I've sort of laid out my conditions for the party, and we'll see what he comes up with.
I mean, history, though, is that opposition parties, official opposition parties, do not support the budget. I mean, you just don't. It's not part of your job. So is there, do you know what I mean? Do you see a world in which this is possible for you?
The world would be, it's an affordable budget that gets rid of taxes, excess taxes on investment, home building, work, energy, that brings the deficit down to the level that the Liberals promised only a year ago. Pretty reasonable to go back to the deficit they were running only a year ago. These are the things that he would have to do for us to consider it. At the end of the day, our number one priority is people's take-home pay has to grow, and that comes through more affordable food and homes. The current Liberal policy is driving up the cost of living. If they sharply reverse that, then they can bring down the cost of living, and that's what I asked for with this meeting with the Prime Minister.
Just yeah, I'm just curious, after meeting with them, what are your impressions as far as where the deficit might go?
I didn't press him too hard, but you know, the spending has been out of control since he took office. And in a lot of ways, he's spending faster and more than the Liberal government was when he became Prime Minister. Spending on the bureaucracy is up 6%, on consultants is up 37%. It seems like he's got a new agency for every problem in Canada. It's going to be an alphabet soup of different acronyms around the city. And so my sense is that his spending, Mr. Carney's spending, with great respect, is totally out of control. And Canadians are paying the price for his out of control spending.
When you
So
say
why not press them a little bit further on it?
Well, I didn't expect I would get an answer to that question in this meeting. And if I did, I'm not going to repeat things he said to me in private anyway.
There seems to be like a shift in the narrative where it used to be the job of the government was, in a minority situation, was to convince the opposition to support the budget. And instead it's become, it is the opposition's fault if you don't support the budget. And I just wonder if you could reflect on that tension, like this idea that if Canadians truly do expect, in a minority situation, everybody to work together, then where is it with all your parties to sort of sit down and hammer this out, or who owns that ultimately?
I think it'll be up to the Canadian people to judge when they see the substance and measure it against the votes. But what I've tried to do is be fair-minded and just holding him to the promises that he made. You know, it was a year ago the Liberals promised this year's deficit would only be $42 billion. So I don't think it's that unreasonable to expect that they would keep that cap. He said he would be judged by the prices at the grocery store. Well, those prices are rising at 4% now, twice the Bank of Canada's target rate. My goal is to bring that food price inflation down. He said that he would make he would create jobs. So we're putting forward policies that would actually do that. So I think we've been very reasonable in basically assisting that the Prime Minister live up to the very big promises that he made of himself. And for me, the biggest and most important promise of it all is that people can actually start to afford their lives again.
Do you get the sense he wants an election out of this?
We didn't discuss that, but All right, thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.